So, we have been having this conversation about the weaponization of food and how these dudes feel entitled and selfish and they just will eat up everything. And it's not just eating up food, food represents money, time, and energy. It takes time and energy to go to the grocery store, it takes time and energy to chop up everything and cook stuff. It costs money. So, when you're with somebody who just eats everything up, it just represents them just taking all of the money and ripping it up without regard to other people around. So this woman posted in the Am I Overreacting subreddit saying, Am I overreacting for taking a break from my boyfriend after he ripped through a whole turkey at our family Thanksgiving? The answer is no. And it should be just completely breaking up, not taking a break. This dude, not only was he entitled and selfish, but at least he showed himself to the whole family. She's embarrassed to the whole family. So there should be no going back because how is she going to bring him around to another family holiday, another family get together? But let's go ahead and look at the picture. Look at the post. Boyfriend is 28, she's 27. She says, Boyfriend and I have been dating for almost 2 years and living together for 6 months now. I met him through a friend at a house party and we immediately hit it off. He was almost exactly like a guy I wanted, extremely tall and huge, witty with jokes, kind and well dressed, and he was absolutely buffed. We vibed throughout the party and exchanged numbers at the end. He has met my family a couple of times after we moved in together, and they absolutely loved him. My grandparents host Thanksgiving dinner almost every year, and we were both invited to it. I thought it would have been lovely to make him meet with them and my other family members too, since my uncle's family would be there too. He had to drop his sister off at his parents' house, a 2 hour drive, and pick me up from our house. It was a 1.5 hour drive to my parents' house. I'm sorry, to my grandparents' house, my bad. Everyone was happy to meet him, and it seemed like they really liked him until we sat down for dinner. We said our grace, and Grandpa carved the turkey, started to pass it around the table. It was a regular sized turkey like we have for every Thanksgiving, enough to feed 12 and still have leftovers. We were 10. Both of us were sitting at the end of the table next to Grandpa, so my boyfriend was the last to get it. There was still a lot of it left because everyone took only a little and would pass around again for more after some time. He placed it right next to him and started digging through the entirety of it. He was so profuse, as my nephew said later, gobbling it up. I told him quietly to go easy, but he did not listen. He started saying how good it was, and my grandma had a huge smile on her face. He was eating just the turkey, and my grandpa said, "Boy, someone really likes turkey." Everyone laughed, but it got to a point where everyone was talking about it. He did not take any hint and shrugged it off like a teenager. My face turned red from the embarrassment, and I could see everyone judging us hard. I could hear my uncle and his wife make unfunny jokes about it. It was finished without getting to anyone again and with no leftovers. My boyfriend is a gym freak. He spends ridiculous amounts of time and money on working out, eating protein rich meals, online courses, etc. He has a set protein limit that he hits every day, sometimes over it, but never under. He also gets his protein from just the meals, no supplements, so he's used to having large meals. It's never been a problem with me, and I respect his way of living, if not love it. We cook together all the time, and if I'm not in the mood, he happily makes a meal for me. He won't even let me contribute in grocery expenses. Because of him, I started eating healthy and felt a lot better about my lifestyle. After the dinner, we got into a fight while driving home. He said he had been driving all day and didn't eat anything after breakfast, so he had to hit his protein, and that he wasn't enjoying it after some time and just had to shove it down the throat. I said if he was that hungry, I would have happily made him a meal after we had gotten home, but now everyone in my family is going to talk about how you finished something made for the whole family. He had thought everyone took their share. What? He got really mad and said I'm blowing this out of proportion and overreacting over a simple meal. I snapped, saying, "How am I overreacting if I'm just trying to communicate about what he did?" It was an hour-long drive, so things got heated up. He kept saying I'm calling him a pig for eating like that and should probably get out of his life if it's such a problem because he believes he did nothing wrong and isn't going to change himself. He persisted on it even though that wasn't my point. I got so bad, maybe it got so bad, that he dropped me off at a gas station in the middle of the night and said, "Think about what I just did." I was terrified. I collected myself to call an Uber to my sister's house and sobbed the entire night. I told myself after a week things would get clear. He hasn't texted nor did I. I can see how I could have reacted differently, but I can't get myself over the fact that he just left me stranded in the middle of the night. I can't get over the fact either. That was a big part of this, like why they should also be broken up. They should be broken up over dinner, but then dropping her off in the middle of the night in the middle of nowhere, absolutely not. You're the ex. This should not be boyfriend. This should be ex-boyfriend. She says, "Am I overreacting or should I make a move on making things straight?" No, you should just break up. There's no salvaging this because y'all got into a fight, and instead of handling things like a normal human, he put her out of the car. Yeah, no. No, there's no coming back from this one. All right, let's look at some of these comments. Top Bit said, "You made him feel like a greedy pig because that's how he behaved. You all tried to tell him gently to stop. I guess you should have been more direct. Kick him to the curb, especially since he dropped you at a gas station in the middle of the night. Do you think he might be using steroids to get that angry?" But the thing is, why do you have to be direct with another human, like an adult human, not like a little kid or something? Why aren't they more socially aware, like looking around and just not feeling so entitled or thinking that all of that food is there for them? Like, what in your brain or how are you brought up to make you think that that was okay? Oh, here's the OP saying, "I agree. I should have been more direct, but my thinking at the time was not to escalate it more and to be discreet about it. I am not 100% sure on the steroid use. I asked him about how his workout was and sometimes give him a massage if he's really sore, but that's about it. But lately he's getting passive aggressive. I just shrugged it off, thinking one of those long days." Garden Safe says, "Not overreacting. Don't take a break. Completely break up. He left you at a gas station in the middle of the night. Dude doesn't get a second chance. Do not give this type of person a second chance. This type of person doesn't deserve to be in a relationship. Let him get all of his protein without you being around." Choose to Be Kind says, "He's 28. Are you really blaming yourself for not being more direct? It's not your job to teach him what mommy what mommy and daddy should have. I mean, how much more basic can you get than manners at a dinner table? He's either intellectually challenged or emotionally challenged in a material way. You can't fix something like this. And that's even before having a complete lack of decency and dumping you in the middle of the night at a gas station. If the same thing happened to your best friend, sibling, or cousin, would you describe it as normal and acceptable? And what advice would you give them? And why would you not be worthy of that same advice?" Express Studio says, "The last part is what I don't get. I'm a woman and I see so many of us supporting other women, seeing clearly and saying this behavior isn't acceptable, you need to leave. But then we are treated this way and we're like, am I overreacting?" Some women really do doubt themselves. They are asking these questions because they are needing to feel validated and feeling disrespected, like this is not right. So, why are you asking? You can see clearly when it's other people, you can see it outside of you, but you can't see it clearly when it's happening to you. And I want some of us to get the self confidence and the assertiveness to say no, that this is not right, to have boundaries and all of that, and do it for yourself, not when you are outside of the situation. But I do think that more of us are getting to that point. I do want you to go ahead and join the conversation and let me know what you think. I probably already know what you think. We're on the same page with this many other time, but join the conversation, like, comment, and share. And I'm pushing towards 100,000 on my YouTube page.